Episode 5, Uncommon Talk with Ryan Crater, Rossman, myself, and Rob Tyson. Today we are going to be talking about fitness and fatherhood. It's going to get interesting. Oh, look, this is live, folks, okay? This guy just put on the exact same thing. This is real. We got a special guest with us today, my boy, Kenji.
What's up, brother?
We're going to be talking about his past, which I'll give you a brief introduction. Played college football. I just found that out like 10 minutes ago. That's incredible.
Better defined as special teams, to be honest.
Doesn't matter, dude. That's like a big feat. 15 years in the fitness industry, 2 kiddos, age 3 and age 9.
Yep.
And just
9 months.
9 months.
Yep.
Oh, I was going to say, man.
Yeah, thank God, because I'm not ready for a 9-year-old yet.
Yeah, I was going to say, wow, where'd that one come from?
Wow.
Revert to this guy for that advice. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're excited to have Kenji. We're excited to be here, episode 5, Uncommon Talk.
I'm really glad to be here, guys. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Absolutely.
I'm excited.
So tell us about yourself. Tell us your fitness background, just who you are, who's Kenji.
Yeah.
What's your background, man?
So I'm the creator of the SEAL Team Thick blog. But by day, I do run a fitness equipment retail business, which we do commercial, residential fitness equipment. So every brand you've ever seen at a health club or a gym, we sell.
What's the name of that place?
2 stores, Fitness in Motion and Fitness HQ.
Where are they located?
We have both of them on research, 10900 and 10001. So you guys check out our Facebook page and Instagrams. Great deals, get you fit.
Yeah,
all day long.
Speaking of that, we would appreciate interaction as well.
Yeah.
So if you have any specific questions or comments, definitely let us know. We have somebody to pick those up. So
Will, the moderator, is sitting live for questions.
Will, the moderator, I like that. Will the moderator.
The man. the mission. Oh,
The mustache.
The mustache. Yeah, that's...
the stash is new for us today. It's
a legit mustache,
Hey,
guys.
listen, he had to come after the beard, man.
Oh, yeah, but the beard...
It's hard to compete with. It's like sitting next to it and is more intimidating than seeing it on touching.
Sure, Kenji, you have a beard.
I got it all fluffed up and...
I haven't even grow that.
This is like the front yard compared to the 40 acres.
So, fair enough. So, Kenji, keep going, man. I'm so intrigued by your story, but
well, as far as the blog goes, it's something that I started as partially personal growth. I like to say I'm kind of a closet introvert, so it was a chance for me to put myself out there and also relate my new life as a father and my fitness life as a business into one. And I think I've learned a lot in one over 15 years, and I've learned a lot in one over 3 years. And
what's the name of your blog?
SEALTeamThick.com, which, go ahead.
Yeah, and how long have you been doing the blog?
The blog has only been up now for about 3 months. So, again, new experience for me to put myself out there like that, but balancing our health with trying to keep our kids alive. I think we can all kind of relate to that, right? That's a little bit what it's all about.
Before you even started the blog, I've known you for a minute. Aaron's known you, God, I don't know, a long time. Y'all, high school, whatever. But you were, what I started to see that you were doing that I got fascinated with that I'd like to talk about, with fitness is the food part.
Yeah.
This slow cooker device recently came to the market. What's it called?
Instapot.
Instapot.
Oh, I love the Instapot, dude.
Okay.
You can make roasts in an hour.
So listen. So before he started SEAL Team Thick, he was every Sunday, posting these gourmet dishes that he was planning for the week, and I was like, oh God! I was like, Aaron, we got to do this. And her mom's got one of these Instapots, and I keep wanting to use it because I was so like, wow, why am I not doing this? This could totally speed up so much of our day. Yeah. Think about as being a dad. How much time does it take out of your day just to organize dinner for the kids?
Speaking of organized dinner, I want to comment. We all look really sharp today, guys.
Yeah.
So Kenji,
thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm all right.
I feel a little underdressed here with these guys. Luckily, Will over there is keeping us home with the
fishies.
Life aquatic, man.
Okay, so tell us a bit more. Where were you in your life? What were you experiencing when you said, you know what, I'm feeling this way, I'm experiencing this, I want to do a blog?
So I think a lot of us, after I had...
And do you mind telling us how old you are?
I'm 35.
And you have 2 kids that are age...
3 and 9 months. Yeah. And especially after my second kid, approximately 9 months ago, really fell into that trap. I had a toddler, a lack of sleep, nutritionally, exercise time. I had every excuse in the book that you can throw out there as to why I was doing nothing and packing the pounds on, and I think
when you had a gym in your fucking garage.
Yeah, I had a gym in my place of business.
Yeah,
I'm literally just saying, breathing and sucking treadmill all day long, and I think it's easy to kind of get in a funk. I think sleep deprivation has a huge effect on you too.
Yeah.
Right, but nutritionally, I mean, that's you mentioned the diet thing. That was a big part of not only fixing weight, but fixing your mindset. What you're feeding the fuel in your body, the fuel to your kids, dictates your attitude, your energy level, your awareness. And I think it's really important to look at it as an advantage to use, not only for yourself from a health standpoint, but for your children.
So elaborate, what do you mean by advantage? So are you saying adversity is an advantage in that sense?
Well, I mean in the sense that I think a lot of people look at, you mentioned the meal prep thing, and I think a lot of the times one of the feedback I'd get when I'd post that kind of stuff is people be like, well, I don't have time for that. How do you have time for that? And for me, it's almost like I'm making an investment in that time so that when I'm feeding my kid and then spending time with him throughout that day, his mental state is in a good place. Mm-hmm. And when you start him with what's basically the equivalent to a candy bar in the morning, we've all had that crash, and you see it every day with people when they eat.
So let's explain more what you mean by meal prep, because I think we're all aware of it, but there's not everyone that knows what that is.
Meal prep, man. It is definitely lining out and planning your week. I think
the whole week.
The whole week. Yeah. I mean, every meal you eat, and I'll be honest, dude, every time I plan a whole week out, does every meal get eaten at the time I thought I was going to eat it? No. You have to
it's
adapt.
life.
Yeah. you absolutely have to adapt. But it is nice because I think I've been noticing you talk a lot about this lately too, in that, planning your day and how much further you get into that day and how much more you get accomplished. Well, spread that out through the rest of your week.
Yeah. And even more as a father, right? I mean, can y'all guys relate? If you have something planned out as opposed to, because I know, man, we've all been through the challenges of raising a kid, altering our sleep, our schedules get mixed up. A lot of people can easily fall into that category of I'll do it later, or I'm so tired and I'll just eat some chips, or I'll stop at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Planning out your day, at least for me personally, and I don't know if you guys do it or not, has helped tremendously. I've been doing it for 2 weeks, and the productivity in my work has been skyrocketed. And I think us as dads, and I think everybody can agree here, can all benefit from that, especially because we are dads and we have altered schedules and we want to spend time with our families, and we both have very important, passionate jobs according to what we've talked about.
Yeah. So what about the ritual on Sundays when you do this? Is your wife involved? Your family?
They are. I try. As involved as a 3-year-old can be, right? Attention span of a gnat a little bit when it comes to that.
Yeah.
But they're observing. They. Having older kids, I can tell you they're picking up a lot more than you realize.
Absolutely. And we make it a thing. We play music. A lot of times, whatever we can make that he can just play with, even if that's just messing with dough or flour or whatever you're putting on the table, just letting them kind of participate and have something tangible to participate with as well, I think is really important. But
so how long does it take you for the whole meal prep process?
So that's a time dedication. On Sundays when we do that, I usually get up, and I try to get up every day at 5 a.m. And,
wow.
And I think
what time is bedtime?
Well, usually 9:30, right? And that's not on purpose. I think I'm just
tired.
I'm crashing at that point in time.
But that's a great balance.
Yeah,
I love it.
You're up before the world gets awake, and you're down when the chaos starts.
And even more so as a parent, because that's probably literally the only time you will have to yourself. And why not start your day with that?
Do you think that that's really important and crucial to first of all, keep your fucking sanity?
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. I mean, don't you need that Zen time? We can all agree that meditation...
my morning and evenings. I see you on Marco Polo every morning and evening.
You can all agree that meditation is really crucial to our health, right?
Absolutely.
Do you think that would be our equivalent to our meditation as a father?
Sure. I think so. I think that the big advantage with teaching yourself to get up every day, and there's been a lot written about some of the most successful people on the planet that every day are up by 5 or 5:30 a.m. because that critical time, whether it's for business, whether it's for your family, or whether it's for your health, is really what's going to dictate you for the rest of the day. So teaching yourself that was hard. I had to learn that. I mean, it's something I've learned in just really in the last year, And it was a struggle, and there's still struggles some mornings where I get up and maybe I don't work out. Maybe it's just.
So yeah, what do you do? You get up at 5, and then what do you do?
Yeah, what's your routine?
You mean like on a daily basis?
Yeah, as a
daily basis.
Entrepreneur, business owner, dad. What is your routine?
Coffee.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
I just finished the last month.
Coffee.
That's my shit, dude. I love coffee, dude.
For sure, man. I am a caffeine fiend, and I do not hide it, and that's okay.
What do you drink?
Yeah, what is
black
it?
coffee.
Bullet coffee? Oh, okay.
But the brand?
I'm not brand specific.
What? Nuts?
No.
Oh my God.
In fact, I like the flavor of a Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
Cold brew.
I will
Dunkin'
agree.
Donuts-
Dunkin' Donuts is
good.
incredible coffee.
Yeah. it
I
is.
do have
I'm
a fancy
Lavazza.
little Jura coffee machine that I cook. I make my
type of-
coffee in. So
Got espresso
What machine?
a Jura? You never heard of a
Jura?
Jura?
Oh, dude, what's a
Dude,
Jura?
Spell that.
So
Let's tell everybody what a Jura is.
Jura. Surely somebody's heard of a Jura. I know.
I've
I've
probably.
I've heard of an espresso, and then we all know the common one, Keurig.
Correct.
Yeah.
Everybody knows
I use
bullet
this little
coffee.
Italian
Yeah.
percolator French press that you
Which
squeeze
I
together.
love
in the
percolated coffee.
Lavazza
I
Grand
got
Crema
pour over.
espresso.
So
Will said he got a pour over.
But
Yeah,
my
they-
girlfriend's a barista, so
At Houndstooth.
It's a slow. It's
Oh.
a slow drip.
Yeah, at Houndstooth, where
Will-
you spend a lot of your time.
that place is
Visit
good.
Houndstooth for some local coffee. It's amazing.
I have a good friend. His name's Matt, and hopefully he's watching here. But he'll tell you if his house is on fire and he has to run in and grab something, he's going to grab 3 things. He's going to grab his kids. He's
Okay.
going to grab his dogs. And he's going to grab his Jura coffee machine.
Fuck yeah,
Oh,
dude. That's
wow.
what I'm talking about. That's
Okay.
a real
So,
man right
Priorities
We got to
right
check
there.
that
That's a
out.
real man.
there. So,
Well, what
coffee
about
is your...
the Keurig that's so great? What does it do?
You mentioned a French press. It's basically a individual French press coffee each time you do it. So you put whole beans in, it grinds,
Whoa.
press, drips, it makes you one
stuff.
cup of coffee, dumps that out.
That's sexy.
All right, so let's.
It's a nice-
That, from a, you know,
I have
Let's
an
do
old
it.
school steel little like camp stove
Yeah.
style. You sit on the stove,
yeah.
percolates
So
old fashioned.
You had the morning coolest stuff.
morning routine, coffee,
Vintage.
then what you wake up every day. Like, what is your go-to?
Wait, so how much is this Gura? Let's play the prices right.
which-
I would guess 200. Yeah.
5.
Let's get off the Gura.
Which model?
He wants it. That's
$1,000
why he really wants
Thousands about your average start.
Oh
Sweet,
my
mine's
God.
like $7 at any fucking Goodwill.
How much money do you guys drink Starbucks though? Do you buy coffee?
absolutely.
I have Starbucks,
I-
but I just told you I drink Lavazza.
So
Grand
do you have
Crema.
Starbucks like what, once a week?
Not anymore.
in
I used
store?
to get
No,
Starbucks
I
quite
never.
a bit.
If you're a
but,
coffee snob, you go Starbucks.
I'm a huge coffee snob, but I also used to drink like 6 long shots of espresso twice a day from Starbucks.
But-
that just tells you about the quality of their coffee.
we digress.
When I can drink
So
like
we did-
right.
Well, so let's
morning
get back.
routine.
Let's
Morning
finish up
routine.
your morning routine. So
Sorry,
coffee's a
Starbucks.
must.
Coffee's a must. We made that clear.
First thing.
Dad, oh yeah, every
Okay.
single day, coffee,
All right,
without a doubt. Bad days, 2 cups. Real bad days, 3 cups. Right?
What time do you wake up on a consistent?
5.
5.
Every day.
Yeah, I try
okay.
to.
Saturday,
I mean,
Sunday?
you gotta give
Saturday,
yourself
Sunday?
Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, I mean, you got kids, man. You got 5 of them. Good God.
I work a lot, so my wife, she works a lot at home, so she takes on that job, and I really,
So does
Don't-
my wife.
no,
My
I
wife
don't-
takes on the kids.
I don't have to get up
I
in the
don't
middle of
wake
the
up for
night.
baby G.
It's a
ever.
very traditional marriage. We actually went to a marriage counselor years ago, and he was like, "I have no idea how to even help you guys because you're in such traditional roles.
Yeah.
Where like 1950s, where dad is dad and goes to work and comes home, and mom stays home and runs the house. And
I know nothing
Yeah.
Aaron,
about
ours
But-
is like a cross pollination between the two. Aaron loves running the house and likes me working. And she's like, I love you around, but I also hate when you're home. Be at work or doing something.
Yeah, just a little side note on that. So Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, you ever take an Uber in town, you're going to get like an older looking executive that'll start telling all these jobs he had in a fairly nice car. And I started like wondering, what the heck are you doing? They're retired, and the wives are like, get out of the house and go do something.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
So they do Uber.
That's
All right.
so.
We digress.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Well, and that kind of brings up a good point because part of the negotiating of time in my household is my wife is also a full-time professional and successful in her own right, and definitely what she wanted to do as opposed to being a stay-at-home mom. So, meal prep's huge because we get home from work and it is on like Donkey Kong from feed time to bath time to bedtime. Hopefully, if you're lucky, that all happens by 9 o'clock at night. And I just mentioned earlier, at 9:30, I'm passing out. So if you're not meal prepping, that doesn't happen. You're eating chips, you're eating whatever, and it all filters into itself. It
So
adds
who
the
takes
weight
care?
on.
Your wife is working.
Yeah, she works. Yeah.
Who takes care of the kids?
We take them to a daycare. We take them to the Goddard school, technically.
Oh, good. Yeah, I heard
What's-
that's a great
yeah.
school.
How old was the youngest when you started doing that?
I mean, as soon as my wife went back from maternity leave, which was at 4 months.
Wow, 4 months of maternity leave?
She had a guy set up for maternity leave, 4 months paid.
Usually it's 6 weeks, right?
What do you guys think about paternity leave, by the way?
Paternity leave.
I think there should be at least 2 weeks for that.
So I'm in corporate America, and I can just personally say that I think it's really important because you get a bond with your child. Sure. And like I've done all the reading, and my significant other and I at the time, we did a bunch of research, and we found that it's way better to have more time with your child for the first at least 6 weeks.
Yeah.
But longer actually.
Right.
But so I would say a good maternity leave personally is 6 months at least.
Maternity?
Paternity.
I think
paternity?
That's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
For maternity, us. 6 months, 3 months tops for dads.
I'm gonna disagree there because in this day and age, there's so many same-sex marriages. You can't go between paternity and maternity.
Good point.
So, I mean, I have a lot of dear friends who are males that are married that have children on the way. That
men.
I hope to God they can stay home and like love that daughter to the fucking world,
or son,
or so I know it's a daughter coming. But I'm just saying a child. Right?
Yeah.
Wait, was this a man married to a man?
2 males that are married are having a daughter that's being built or adopted, whatever. Surrogate, not built.
Is it a robot?
It's a surrogate.
She's getting built.
And I don't know which one it was that gave the semen to have the child. But it is a surrogate, and they have the right to be off work to nurture that child. And
I'd say for the time frame.
And I think they both should have equal rights, especially in today's day and age. Listen, you go back to the 50s when gay marriage was not accepted, or 60s or 70s, or whatever, and you go back to this traditional way of
10
living.
10 years ago, it seems like.
Yeah, but they still had but there was still a lot more divorce 10 years ago. There was still a lot more single fathers. There was still a lot more, dads that were adopting versus the 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is that now in today's world, maternal, paternal, it really doesn't matter.
Well, so you think the two dads should have equal time?
I think that in today's day and age, even
women,
traditional marriages, if, for example, his wife is a gangbuster in the advertising world and she's going to land some $10 million account that's going to broker a $500,000 deal in commissions, goddamn, he should be able to go and take off the 6 months that's going to take her to go build that, right?
But she won't take 6 months.
She has the choice to take it, is what I'm saying. We should have the equal opportunity as being a husband to the wife.
Okay.
Of determining in the professional realm who needs to take.
So talking about that, I think you are way more involved in your kid's life than me personally.
And me.
And Ross, you're pretty active, but tell us how much time do you spend with your kids? And
I really have given up all life outside of work and my kids, and I'm 100% happy to do that.
What did you give up? It's been the best
part of my life. I mean, as far as social life, there's zero. I say this all the time. I feel bad for my friends because I don't spend time with my friends. I wish I could. It's not a personal thing, but at the end of the day, it is a balance, and my balance right now is invested in, of course, maintaining my professional life, but also, being active with my kids. My father, who was a Shinto priest, which is kind of a different story from a lot of fathers. He's an immigrant from Japan. And in that culture in Japan, the father does not have much role at all in the raising of children.
Really? I thought you were going to say
and explain a Shinto priest.
No, in fact, it's where I got it because I reversed the feeling. And also, my father passed away when I was 19 from pancreatic cancer, so we didn't get a chance to maybe change that as he grew older and spent more time in this country and evolved culturally himself.
Were you born here?
I was born here, yeah. San Diego, California. Good town.
So continue about your father not being involved.
But for me, it was, so I wanted to be. Yeah. Because obviously, I didn't get to spend a lot of time with
so that depravation that you had
is what feeds my,
very relatable to what your situation is. So I have a lot of compassion for that.
So, I'm luckily I'm in a position to take time away from work a little bit and devote that to them. So
I commend you on that because I'm in I'll share it personally. I'm in a very similar situation. I was deprived as having a father-like figure growing up, but life happens for you, not to you, right? And you hear that saying. So I think that's an advantage because it gives you that deprivation that you had as a kid. You want to overcompensate as a father. So like I was like you, I never went out, dude. I enjoyed being at home and doing the dishes and cleaning and keeping a tidy household. But I was also like, if somebody talks shit, I beat the shit out of them. Like, I'm not going to be like, hey, stop it. You know, I'm going to fucking, throw down. But I enjoyed it so much because I was deprived. And most people perceive that as beta male tendencies or you're weak or, oh man, the woman wears the pants. But that's not it. It's just the deprivation that we had of not having that consistent father there. Yeah. That we're like so loving and over the top with our kids that we come off that way. Yeah. But that's a big misconception out there for sure. I've gotten that plenty of times.
So yeah, for me personally, I need to be involved in a social life. I've tried cutting back on that, and it really had a detrimental effect on me. So my schedule is done usually 2 to 3 months in advance, and if I actually gotten to the point where I schedule in time to be with my kids specifically, and that's worked out really well. I can tell them, hey, like this day we're gonna do this for the entire day, and they're like, hey, how many days is that from now? Mm-hmm. And it's really worked out.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's different experiences of how we.
What about you, Ross? Like, how do you feel? I mean, you own your own business and you're able to spend a lot of time with your kids for sure.
So we've kind of briefly talked about this before. Like, when my son came into the world, before my son was born, I remember talking to like the family before we even knew it was a male, and them being like, "You're the last Bennett of the tribe that can have a son." And I want to get into that with you with the names of the kids.
Yeah.
But just saying, carrying on the lineage, and I was like, "Holy fuck!" Like,
oh my
God, Jesus! Like, yeah, what? I gotta have a boy, and I hope to gosh my boy is healthy and safe, that he can carry on the name as well. Like you never think about that as a man, right? And boom, Jack Sugars is born, and he looks very similar to me, and he's got a lot of the same mindset and attitudes as me, and getting to raise him, and blah 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 blah. And then Georgia comes along, and I'm like, God, business is doing whatever, and it's all over the place, and we're growing and expanding and changing, and February 10th is coming, and I know it's a big day, and then she shows up. And to be honest, you can ask my wife, it wasn't that I was like an absentee dad, it was like I didn't know how to react. Like I even told Aaron this is going to be hard for me at the beginning because it's going to be really hard for me to channel this love to separate between 2 kids. I don't know how you do it with 5. I mean, honestly, because when I'm looking at my son, I'm like, there is the end. There is the next chapter of my tree. And being adopted and being accepted into a tree is a big thing, right? Mm-hmm. Having that talk from the family of being adopted and saying, you're carrying on our name, it's like, wow, fuck, it doesn't mean blood. It's you're a part of the tribe, whether you do blood or not.
But that's going to be amazing.
Okay, so that's a cool feeling, right? Yeah. And then daughter shows up. Well, anyway, to get to the point, Aaron went and did that photo shoot with Molly of Georgia at 6 months. And that little fucking smirk at the little bow on her head, I all of a sudden turned over. Yeah. And today I get a Marco Polo while I'm sitting here from Aaron, and guess what Georgia's saying? Dada.
That's like
done.
And so I said, did she say dada?
Mail it in.
Was like,
Ross is melted. Yeah.
He's done. She hasn't wrapped around her finger.
So it's crazy to me because
cool, man.
I didn't know how to accept not only a female into my life, and knowing that I've always wanted her to call me, on August 31st and say, "Daddy, you ready to go south for September hunt?" Mm-hmm. Or in November, kind of getting.
Can you imagine her asking you that though?
Seriously? I can't wait for her to call me and Papa and say, "Let's go to the ranch." I can't wait. Yeah. When are we gonna go?
Oh my God, I want a girl.
There's a lot of dads out there waiting.
So Kenji,
this is a very interesting thing about how it seemed like you didn't quite connect with your kids when they were younger. I mean, and that's actually a very common.
But my dad didn't either with me.
But
my mom said that my dad didn't hold me as a child, which is fine. And a lot of dads don't hold their infants as a child.
But you build that deprivation.
A lot of I'm not even talking about deprivation. I'm just talking about the nature. I've got a lot of friends who are like, yeah, I'm holding this baby, and it's just like there. I don't know.
How about you who has no kids? I mean, let's bring you to this section for a second. Like, have you ever held kids, or anybody out there that's listening right now? Have you how do you feel about when you were first a dad, or if thoughts of about to be a dad, or wanting to be a dad?
Comments or questions on that?
Do you want to have kids? Are you at a stage where you can even think about it?
I mean,
like.
First of all, how old are you?
I thought about it a lot. 31.
Okay.
Oh.
So I've thought about it a lot, and I mean, I haven't felt ready yet, and at some point I might. At some point I might not. So
Yeah.
you know.
You're never ready.
And we always hope and pray that our kids come out like healthy.
So when kids start getting their own little personalities around
That's what
2 or
scares
so, and
me,
they
is
get
my kid being like me.
Right? That's what I said too.
That's
every dad,
fucking horrifying.
every dad feels that. At least for me personally.
So I was going to ask
feels
Kenji,
that.
like speaking of health, I know that you met Ross. We all discussed this, and we had discussions around that. But have there been challenges? Like we've all gone. I told you my personal story about my son.
Sure.
And you were talking about how that was important for you, Ross. And obviously you're a doctor, so I can't even imagine how you feel. We've had discussions on the side, but Kenji, you share your story, if you don't may, like just
Yeah.
You told me about the challenges you've overcome.
Well, challenges. I think first of all, every parent has challenges with their kid. If it's not one thing, it's another, right? I think we all attack some early stage of a limitation in some sort, whether that's you have croup cough, or in my case, my son was born with hip dysplasia, which doctor over here will be able to easily explain medically, but essentially hip didn't set in the socket.
Was he breached?
He was breached.
Yeah.
So
So what happens with a hip dysplasia is that a kid that is in the womb, normally the femur is pushing into the pelvis, and the pelvis will literally grow and make the socket for the ball to fit in for a hip joint. If the kid's breached, their legs are pushed back, and there's not that pressure of the ball of the femur into the pelvis, and so the pelvis ends up becoming flat, and you have a ball here, and it's just a dislocatable hip.
Wow.
And so that is one of the first exams that a baby gets when they come out of the womb.
Right, they check their hips immediately.
I had a patient that was not mine. She came to me when she was started about walking after a year old, and the mom's like, "Yeah, there's something wrong here." And I did my exam first time, checking the hips. I'm like, "Well, this hip's dislocated." No one had caught it for an entire year. She ended up having to have surgery.
Yeah,
but you had
worse later. So.
You had a very different experience of how to get that hip dysplasia to form correctly.
Which we had a great pediatrician, which I appreciate our pediatrician. Probably hyperreactive compared to some pediatricians, but for us it was perfect. So
that sounds like a typical pediatrician.
hey.
But that's kind of, for me, it's what you want, right?
But you also weren't ready to go down the pediatrician route.
No, well, and the first thing that happens is, so they put you in this harness, and it's kind of tough because when you're a new parent, your first thing you want to do is you just want to hold this little soft, sweet, very, very, very weak little thing.
Yeah.
And
was it one hip or both hips?
both.
I remember that now.
I remember seeing
They put you in this harness, and it's like a full body thing. It's a chest strap, and then it essentially cups, kind of like he was explaining, cups the legs up and points the hips in and holds them there. Wow. So it would be like looking like somebody sitting on a stool with their legs spread out permanently.
Like literally in stirrups that are just holding you up like this.
Yeah.
And how long do they
You
have
hold
to
the
be
baby
in
like
there?
you hold them like this.
So he was in that for the first 6 months.
Wow.
That's 23 hours a day. Essentially means
Wow.
you take them out of it to bathe them and change
it.
a diaper, which is a cool thing. You had to learn how to change a diaper, just removing part of that. You had to learn how to swaddle around that, which is a small thing, but
Dude,
was
I didn't
kind
even
of
think about that.
crazy.
And carry them in public?
Yeah. We had to buy a different type of ergo because you couldn't just stuff them in a regular thing. We couldn't even put him in a regular like rocker bassinet that was shaped to hold him because it would hold his hips at the wrong position.
Dude, I'm showing so much empathy towards you. Because it hits me because the only thing, and I know we've all been there, it's like you don't want anything to be wrong with the baby boy or the baby girl. You're like, please, God. And then when something goes south, because I've had that, it's like, so, dude, how did you feel? Were you just like fighting through it? Will you cry? I mean, like, share those moments.
I think that you have very little time for emotion before it's like, now you just got to problem solve.
Yes.
Right? And
that's a very rare mentality, man. I'm telling you, because people, they bask in their sorrow sometimes.
True.
And like, you have to let go and cry, but
we have entrepreneur daddy or that. I mean,
man. So does that
take charge attitude?
Did that carry into your entrepreneurial world as well, like business?
Did fatherhood affect?
Like, I don't want to
business?
take you away from like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but did that carry on to where you had that intrinsic motivation?
It not only motivation, it gives you a kind of a new level of confidence.
Ah, yes,
Right?
yes.
You are suddenly thrown in a whole bunch of new situations. Well, anybody in business will tell you that is what success in business is being able to adapt quickly and with the right move. So that definitely relates between fatherhood and business for sure.
So then he was in these for 6 months. How is he out of them now?
Well, that was stage 1. Stage 2 is a harder shell thing that they stay in when they sleep. So at nap and at night, it's the same position, not quite as restrictive, just on the lower body. And then we were in that until a little over a year old.
Okay.
So
so the advantage of all these
but it's no crawling, no walking, like what I'm saying, like there's all like the normal development that you get to see all your friends posting. Like let's talk about social media.
But but just to wrap up on that, the brace, what it does is pushes that femur into the hip, and it grows the hip socket after birth.
Correct.
And how is he doing now?
He's 100%. You wouldn't know one single bit of a difference. He'll never
Runs
have surgery.
all over.
He's
crazy.
Absolute, Tasmanian devil.
That's good, man.
So whenever you have kids, make sure that the doctors are checking their hips. It's one of the basic exams. So
but to go off of your point, let's talk about social media. I know where you were going. Like, just the perception that it puts out there of what life should be, right? Is that where you're getting at?
Yeah, and it's like,
like you see kids crawling and you're like, oh, well.
Yeah, or like, the fact of like, he's started a blog that is empowering guys, and I want to get into the topic of NEAT, but he started a blog to make men understand that, hey, we all have these problems, and it's actually, you don't have to put in time to just go to the gym, but you've got time to just get out and be with your kids, experience life. And what's cool about that is that, I don't know, and maybe I'm speaking for you, but what I kind of would see in most people in social media is that they're going to see kids that are being posted that don't have a brace on, that are running around, that are getting to do stuff, that are first time crawling, that these parents don't get to see, that you have to overcome, figure out how the fuck am I going to wake up and take care of my family and get my family back on the ground and running. And I think through number 2, with some of the stuff you went through with 2, and these hospital visits like you were talking about, where I text you, hey man, what's going on? Dude, fuck. We had another episode last night. Jesus, on a personal level between us. But still building this blog, and then that brings me to this, because when our notes this week, he's mentioned NEAT. And I think from a social media standpoint, to talk about NEAT is really important, because it's an authentic way to get people to understand, hey, get out and just fucking live.
Elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah, so let's talk about NEAT.
NEAT stands for Non-Exercise Activity Thermogenics, which you've probably heard a lot at this point about steps, right? People counting their steps, 10,000, 8,000, 12,000. Everybody looking real quick. Everybody check yours all the time.
I never do this.
And, I think my 15 years in the fitness business, I've seen a lot of shapes, sizes, ages, races, financial situations come through my door looking for consultation on their health, right? And
as a health equipment store owner, you
what should I use and why?
Anybody who's walking in essentially is obviously half the time has probably lost their way. And it's easy to just get lost further if you don't know what you're looking for, and you just dive into the internet, which is like the worst thing you could possibly do with the medical field or the health and fitness business, because there is so much misconception, so much wrong, misleading information that really you can't count on any of it.
Sure.
So your business has to be person-to-person service. It cannot be done. That's
the same thing for you, right?
Right, that's what I'm trying to get at. So you have to rely on your customer base face-to-face. Social media sure helps to build an awareness.
Right.
But in your world, because it's so sensitive, social media is just bullshit, because you have to be able to understand truly what that person needs.
Right. And most of the time, it's the most common excuse is time.
So
I don't have time to work out. It's hard. I don't have time. I can't afford to. What NEAT is all about is not about selling or buying a product, taking a supplementation. It's simply looking at your overall activity level and raising it, because most people don't want to look at it because it's probably really, really, really low.
Sedentary.
It's not necessarily setting 1 hour, going to the gym and doing that.
It's not at all.
It's not.
It's everything but that. essentially.
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So
elaborate. I'm curious.
Hiking.
How much do you hang out with your kids? You know, you're swimming laps in the pool. How many hours did you spend in the pool, and what'd you do?
Well, that's the perfect example in relating it to your family and your kids.
Yeah, I love it.
Is looking at that time and not just saying, okay, I have to have exercise time, and then I have to have meal prep time, and then I have to have kids time. That can be together.
Oh, really?
Right?
Okay. I
mean, from the experience to going to the grocery store, parking far away from the entrance to the grocery store,
Easy.
taking your kids in, not putting them in the cart. It's a pain in the butt, but walking them around. But I tell you what,
My kids-
do that for one day.
Always grab stuff.
Count your steps.
Yeah.
Go to the
Those
park,
belts
climb
that
with
has
them.
leashes on.
I promise you will hit
I
the
was on
max
one.
end of your NEAT.
Yeah.
Say 10, 12 plus thousand steps a day, which really, in conjunction with a proper diet, will regulate body weight all day long by itself.
So
there's
the
no problem.
minute, so just the medium amount of steps for most people, if you're listening, is to 10,000 steps with a good diet. But 10,000 steps.
I believe that's what the American Medical Association is recommending currently is 10,000
Come on,
steps a day
Doc.
or something like that.
Do you want to
But,
Google it? Anyways, so that's great. So where can you find NEAT? Is there like an Instagram page for it? Or
if you
is it-
Google NEAT right now, you will be, blown in the face away from all the information that's out there.
Which is you
But did
found
you-
that's the best information, that's the most non-bullshit, cut the fluff, straight to it. How can people can you maybe do a post in the next few weeks about the NEAT diet or the NEAT life?
Sure. Yeah, NEAT's activity. Diet.
This is really
totally
exciting.
different kind
I
of
think
thing.
a lot of our listeners, I know I'm interested in it. You're the one who brought it to us. If you don't mind sharing a small
Sure.
thing about it,
I mean,
posting it somewhere where we can share it back.
It's a beauty. It's actually the evolution of the fitness industry too, which is a refocus on fixing people for the long term rather than fixing them in short increments and achieving short goals. And that's kind of become the sales pitch with everything.
Yeah.
And the problem is that sets an unfair expectation, right? We were just talking about social media. That sets an unfair expectation.
So let's bounce off of that.
Yeah, I'm ready to talk about
expectation,
that.
Like dad bods. Like what? Let's go into that a little bit. We had a little unfair expectations based off of what we see on social media, like the models, the Ryan creators. But you look good.
I am hashtag dad
You look
bod.
good, though.
Hashtag dad bod.
You look
right
good.
here.
So hashtag dad bod. There's other ways that people perceive dad bods. They could be like, Ryan's a dad bod. I'm a dad bod. So what did you say that was like? So,
Where do you draw that line?
Yeah, like what starts a dad
where does
bod
start
and what
end
ends a
of
dad
dad
bod?
bod? Is it like a body fat percentage or a specific shape?
Yeah, what do y'all think?
Or
What do y'all think?
I don't think I would
You
not
think
call
it's-
you a dad bod.
Dude, you're pretty jacked.
It's close to skinny fat.
Yeah.
Skinny
Yeah,
fat.
skinny
Will.
fat.
Like me, yeah.
So,
Like, and that was actually due to largely inactivity in my work and my personal life. I worked jobs where I was in retail up until 2016.
Yeah.
And then
nice.
I had a more, let's call it sedentary role. And
Sure.
I was sitting down in front of a computer a lot more often.
And high stress, right?
Very high stress.
Yeah, it's huge.
Eating poorly, and when I turned 30, that was when I started being able to gain weight. And so I finally gained the weight, and it just sort of compounded. And I mean,
It compounds the way life compounds, 'cause stress compounds.
Back into fitness. So.
Well, Aaron calls me skinny fat all the time because
You're skinny.
So are you a
Like-
dad bod, do you think?
Well, I mean, fuck that
No.
skinny. What are you talking about? I got
Oh,
this
yeah,
muffin
that's
top.
good.
I can grab it. It's like an inch and a half.
Mr.
of
Ross
fluff here.
Bennett,
Sure, I got
everybody.
29.5 inch waist, but I got this
29 and a half inch waist, and he's.
Oh God.
But look,
and a
see,
half.
look, I can
I'm-
grab this fat.
So-
It's like
so
that's
guys-
the skinny fat.
so let me-
It's the non-working out. It's the concept of being thin but not being fit. And I'm the first
or
to admit
trim.
that I don't have that. No, I think when I say the word fit, and tell me if I'm wrong, fit is where your muscle is within tone, within reason.
So that's
your
a lower body
is
fat percentage.
Yeah, lower BMI, lower body fat percentage is fitness. I don't care if you weigh 215 pounds or you weigh 163. Our body frames are completely different, and that's coming from a tailor.
Yeah.
The guy who takes measurements all day. I can
Oh,
have a
that's
professional athlete come in here who's got a 56-inch chest and a 38-inch waist. All right, and
He's
as solid
jacked.
as a fucking rock.
4%
Or I
body
can,
fat.
yeah, and I
That's
can
too
12, something
low.
like that. Or I can have another guy come in with a
Damn.
58-inch chest and a 58-inch waist. Okay, that has 30% body
450
fat.
pounds.
But here's the difference: that guy's going to come in and put that suit on, but then he's going to feel better because he's got something that fits.
Sure.
And he's going to go start walking. And I have this all the time. He's going to go start walking to go get lunch, or he's going to get
To
home
show off the suit.
No, because he feels fucking good in clothing that fits. Okay. And then he's going to go home and walk his dog. So what's happening? He's doing the 10,000 steps. He's having a salad. He's not thinking about it. Yeah. He's empowering himself. They called me and say, hey, can you take the suit? And I've lost 20 pounds.
That's so great. That's a great way to look at it from.
Yeah, so
a tailor's perspective.
So it's like when you talk about fit or dad bod.
Yeah.
I think the dad bod is really what you feel comfortable in. Look, we've got 4 different dad bod frames sitting right here, and I want to talk to you both about
Rob
something.
A dad bod?
And I want to talk to you about something about that for a second. I think he's a fitness dad bod. And here's the deal. I think you've got your different dad bod builds, just like you've got different builds of people. Let's talk about your gym. So do you work out every day, same time?
He asked me what I thought about my dad bod.
Yeah, let me
I'm from South Louisiana. I am everyone's large there. It's not a fit state. There are people who do it, but I came to Austin pretty fit. I actually got trimmer while I was here, and still to this day I have friends who consider me in the group the fat friend. Really? Our dear friend Michael Harrell, who our film guy knows, refers to me as the fat friend.
Dude, you look
and I've got a 32-inch waist, wear a medium shirt, 40
No, you do not.
Chest.
You lie.
Oh, wait.
Here comes the tailor with his measurements real quick.
Yeah, you really want me to size you up right now on camera and then check it?
We'll do a follow-up video on that.
Yeah, we'll do a follow-up video.
We'll do a dad
36 and a half inch waist, 45 and a quarter
our dad
chest.
size and our dad
13
waist.
biceps.
And then
We're gonna get way too passionate.
We'll post stats here in a little while.
Which measurement did I say that you don't believe?
Waist and chest.
Okay. Are you 34?
So if you buy 32 pants, you're at 36 waist, period, end of statement.
34 waist.
It's called vanity sizing. So the world makes clothing smaller. So the dress form back there behind
27 and a half inches?
I'm a true 29 and a half inch waist. Yeah,
anyway, so when we digress, Kenji.
But I used to be at 34. I hit 200 pounds, changed my diet.
Yeah, you went through a transformation.
And I went back down to my frame size. I hit 201 pounds, freaked out.
Hey, y'all stop catfighting.
No, we're not.
I freaked out, realized I was eating a lot of sugars and bread and carbs.
I was fixing to ask you, what's your curiosity? What was your
21 week juice fast.
Cutting, so basically cutting out a lot of the carbs. And
I said, fuck red meat and fuck sugars. Let's just go liquid. And let's see what happens.
So the 2 most popular diets right now that you hear about, right? Keto.
Yeah, let's hear it. I want to.
Which he's on.
And
pretty much
paleo. Right, it's
which I still understand.
I don't either. Yeah.
What you get? So,
what's the difference?
Both are about managing your macronutrients, right?
Okay.
Your carbs versus your proteins versus your fats.
Okay.
Keto is about ketosis, which is putting the body in a state where it will burn more fat. You do that by removing carbohydrate and adding fat, which is all the rage right now.
Yeah.
So eating what? Avocados,
healthy fats,
oils, proteins.
And high proteins. Obviously,
low carb, a lot of vegetables.
A lot of vegetables for digestion, obviously. But
the fiber and the carbohydrates from vegetables are important versus the complex gluten carbs that you get from wheats and grains,
which are simpler in wheats and grains.
Right.
So what do you say? What is your opinion on which one do you lead towards more?
What's paleo?
So paleo is,
and what do you do?
Probably a mix of both. But paleo is about avoiding your processed foods and your grains, and again, still a focus on protein, but paleo, back in time, right? Caveman diet is the terminology for it, which is eliminating the stuff that you couldn't have back then.
So it's caveman forager fruits and berries and stuff like that.
But that doesn't mean lowering carb. I mean, it potentially means a lot of times eating a lot of carb.
It means if you can find it in nature and it's a one ingredient food.
So they're eating unleavened bread because we didn't have yeast, so they're eating a lot of matzah?
Yeah.
Not trying to joke, but I'm Jewish. So
truthfully, not a lot of bread in general. Not a lot of grain. Because, you didn't process grain. We're not an animal if you think about digestion that was necessarily designed to digest a lot of grain.
So can I bring up a topic on that? You bring up humans and digestion. I just brought this up to Aaron a few days ago because I've talked to some people about this. What is really the importance of milk? Not breast milk, cow milk in development of us. I understand the calcium component, but why do we need animal... I drink milk all the time. I'm an advocate of milk. I love my cheese, my butter, my milk. Don't get me wrong. Just trying to figure out. I read a lot of studies that say it's not good once the child's off of breast milk to actually give them dairy milk.
Well, it was a breast milk designed for a different animal.
Yeah, that's what it is. There's different hormones. There's like
and the structure of the protein.
I'm not a scientist, but if you look up cow's milk, there's like B something hormone and C. I don't know what it is specifically, but it's not designed to be consumed by the human body for the human being.
Yeah, I mean, I'm.
So do y'all drink a lot of milk in your household?
I'm basically lactose intolerant at this point
good.
in my life. Good. I mean, it doesn't mean I don't. I enjoy a little lactose.
How do you eat
there's
pizza?
times where you just decide
Or ice cream.
So there's different levels of lactose intolerance for sure. For me, the dairy and cheese doesn't bother me as much, but ice cream or milk, which is really a loaded dairy content, will F me up like no other, man.
Oh, really?
Like, we talk the real talk.
So no
here,
queso. You can't go to like Chewy's or
as in
just
you can't,
pounds of queso.
never trust a fart, right? Like,
Love it. So I had a buddy in college that used to literally carry around those lactose pills. And he would take like 2 of them before he ate pizza.
Oh, God.
Just don't eat it.
yeah,
He couldn't stop
that's
eating
the key
it.
is stop eating it. You know.
Yeah, so back to that. Do you think in food, when people start to get on a bad diet or a bad fitness diet, it becomes an addiction just to stay on that type of bad food? And do you think that food has like, by the products that are put into those processed foods, make an addictive personality? So people are like craving,
Corn dogs, pizza, and
whatever.
donuts.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't know that
Like-
there's certainly there's absolutely a chemical reaction that you have to those types of foods, and when you remove it, there is a withdrawal type kind of reaction for sure. That happens with any time you have something that you take consistently and then remove it. To some extent, it's just the brain's reaction. This guy would medically be able to explain that to you, but I would definitely say that for me in our household, we don't do a lot of lactose. It's by nature sometimes too. I think Asians are also really commonly lactose intolerant. I don't quite know why, but very, very common in my culture. But
Well, you probably didn't consume it as a
And a lot of rice culture.
yeah.
milk
I
and
mean,
stuff like that.
America introduced beef to Japan, right? I mean, that's why sushi's there. So until they came up
And
with
now
the best
Japan-
kind.
the
right. And
Americans
Japan
with
has
the
some of the
fanciest-
longest living people in the world.
Yeah. And they eat plenty of carbs. So, that goes against that whole
Work a lot.
paleo
Not
They
bad.
walk a lot.
Carbs are not bad.
Oh, that's the thing is, your average person in Japan
Processed
is
carbs,
going to have a lot more activity throughout the day than a person in this country.
So
without a
Kenji,
doubt.
like, what about your fitness goals? Like, I know I have a lot of fitness goals. I want to look like a goddamn, I don't want to look like
David,
that.
the statue of David.
Like, not necessarily. I just want to look athletic.
David's little.
David is little. I'm not David. Well, I hope not. I'm kidding. But I want to look athletic. So, like, have you thought of like your dad? You're an entrepreneur. Did you create fitness goals for yourself? And like, how did you feel if you didn't attain them, or when you do attain those?
So I think fitness goals are really important.
Yeah.
Right? Because especially for anybody launching into a fitness journey, you got to have goals. Otherwise, you're just roaming lost. I've been in the industry a long time. I've had a lot of goals. I've achieved them. I've failed. My life is about balance. Every day about balance, which has been teaching myself to balance my expectation on what I'm going to look like with the reality of what I can actually have the time to do and want to do at this point. Because truthfully, do I really want to spend as much energy as I've had in the past to get down to a sub 10% body fat and have a six pack? And don't get me wrong, feel great about myself, but I think it's important to explore internally to be happy without that. And that's where I'm at. So it doesn't mean that's your case or every guy's case or any dad's case that's going to work for them. Again, everybody's fitness journey is their own journey and you're in control of it. And that's where I always say, people ask, well, how do you succeed or fail in fitness? It's people who really look at too much expectation are the ones that are going to fail. And the ones that always succeed are that completely let go of any expectation.
Yeah,
That's good. That's good.
My personal experience with fitness is coming up to the age of 30. I always did like the 90-day crash diet, cardio, gym, get fairly in shape, and then I'm in shape. I stop. My goal was the look that I was achieving. By the time I was about 32 or so, my son was 2 years old, and he was getting really active, and he has ADD. So like me running after him, and I did have a dad bod then. My career was going. I was drinking way too much beer.
You mean you had a
36-inch waist?
Oh, you had a gut.
Yeah, wearing a large shirt just because it's floppy everywhere. But I was like, you know what? I've got to start getting in shape so I can actually keep up with my kids. Like, I know we're going to have more kids. So I realign my goals, and I tell everyone this my goals for exercise are energy, stamina, endurance. That's what I set. And then I do short-term goals of, okay, this month I'm going to do, long-term is 6 months. And what has been the benefit of this is I've achieved those 3 goals of energy, endurance, stamina, and strength. And the bonus was I'm in the best shape I've ever been in.
Wow.
Even before I was in 20s. So my wife...
That's crazy.
I walk around without my shirt and I just like stop in the mirror and just kind of look. And, Ryan, I don't realize she's watching.
29.
Follow Instagram, Ryan Crater. You'll see a lot of selfies. At Ryan Crater. You'll see a lot of this beard stuff. But you know, it's cool. I mean, you started your whole social media on trying to empower yourself, and it's been something that has changed your life. And you know what I was saying before about the overweight guys fitting a fitted suit and taking a walk and changing their weight. You grew a beard and started finding yourself in a fashion scene that launched you to, well, look at how it fucking is, man. You grew a beard and said, I'm going to go start a page for my beard, and you knew you had to start working on your image because you were looking at yourself every day. So subconsciously, you knew where you
only because I was surprised by what I saw.
Subconsciously, you knew where you went. Right. You were surprised.
Yeah.
And you didn't like it. And you wanted to change
in a good way. Like, whoa, who's that? That's me.
But you kept working to get a better body. You just
I kept working to achieve my goals.
Correct.
Do you think that's become a part of your motivation now?
The look?
Yeah.
No.
No? It doesn't, like as far as your health motivation, I mean, like fitness motivation. You're working out, spending time.
I don't think so. I mean, these photos I did this week, my gut's hanging over my waist a little bit, and I don't care. I'm
Good for you.
I'm going to post those pictures.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I cycle a lot, and I eat very minimally, and I'm skinny fat because I've got tattoos all down my ribs, and when I have a little bit of a gut, my tattoos are stretched and they look really bad, and so I like them to look perfect, and so by keeping everything clean.
So there's your fitness motivation.
How much? That's why. So I
mean,
when I'm on the bike, I'll ride a lot, a couple hundred miles a week. But
how much weight did you lose when you like?
I mean, I went from 201 to like 167, and then I dropped.
A lot of weight.
And that was all water weight and fat and sugar.
A year or so ago.
It was about a year ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
And I mean, it was just like a year ago is when I started eating food again, and it's now I've been just able to keep it all off. And in the summer, if I want to get real thin, I'll just.
So how do busy dads make time for exercise?
I think it's good. Obviously, it's different in every case. And that's basically what we're addressing.
Yeah, and
right
most
now.
common excuse is for not exercising and staying fit, which I think it's one of the pillars of being a human, is fitness.
Yeah.
But one most common excuse is I just don't have time.
And that just means you're not fucking passionate about it. Period in a statement. If you're passionate about getting fit, you're going to find the 1 hour in the 18 hours you're up to get it done.
Well, better yet,
even 30 minutes.
There's not a purpose.
Right. There's no passionate. There's no purpose for it. They don't have why.
There's an exercise. Check a box.
You're an ER physician. You're an ER physician, right? And so we can all agree he's probably the busiest out of all of us.
Yeah, 96-hour shifts.
By far.
So, like, you know, maybe to the audience, you guys are entrepreneurs. I'm in the corporate world. I would say we're all busy in our own situations. But man, how, like, if you don't achieve your goal of whatever your fitness drive is or your purpose is, how does it make you feel? And like, how do you even get it done? Like, first, how do you get it done? But if you don't achieve it, do you think you're like a failure because of it? Or I'm curious.
For me,
all of you guys.
When I don't exercise, I feel bad, and so that's my motivation to go.
Yeah.
I'll do a overnight shift, and then I go to the gym tired, and I get on the treadmill, and I perk up, and like,
you just flirt. You just like, fuck, I'm gonna fucking do it.
Yeah.
That's badass, dude. That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, lately I haven't, and so I've actually been focusing more on my nutrition to stay trim.
That's what I've been doing too, which is ironic. Yeah, I haven't been on the bike in like 2.5 weeks, whereas before that I was riding, 250 miles.
Which I finally learned that the food that you put in your body is more important than the exercise you put into your body.
Absolutely.
And that was a hard thing for me to accept. Usually there was some diagram I saw where it's like the triangle where like food is like the minimal and exercise is the most, and it's actually the other way around.
Well, that's the whole problem. Is everybody's been taught literally the wrong thing, and it's the general assumption that that's the solution is count the numbers, end up in a deficit, and burn.
Yeah.
When really all that does, your body compensates. Always. It adapts, no matter what.
Like cholesterol goes up because it's a protective mechanism for your body.
It's an amazing system. You can lift bicep curls on one arm studies have shown, I mean, 60% growth will happen on the other arm because you're working one arm. The body wants an equilibrium all the time.
Yeah, homeostasis.
But that's so weird, and I don't want to get into this, but I will tell you, when I take measurements of people, 9 times out of 10, one side is always longer than the other.
I think that's everybody, right?
Well, it has everything to do with picking up a bag, shaking a hand, throwing a ball. You're stretching that joint and that ligaments, so that arm, as it develops over time,
my right arm is longer than my left.
Are you right-handed?
Yeah.
That's why.
I didn't even know this stuff.
Because you're picking up a suitcase, you're throwing a ball to your kids, you're shaking a hand, you're reaching out.
And so, like, what do you guys think about body imaging though? Because that's a big thing. Let's just piggyback off of that a little bit. That's a big deal. It's a big topic right now. It's everywhere. You have to look like the specific model in order to get attention or likes on Instagram, especially if you're a woman. But let's talk from a dad's point of view. We're dads. We're all trying to climb our own journeys, and you're doing your thing. Ross, Kenji. Like, do you think that, this is my opinion, I think if you have a fucking badass personality, you're self-aware, you have a purpose, nothing else fucking matters. No. Right? I mean, think about it. This is why we started this UnCommon talk.
Right.
Because it was like, it's our escapism.
What's the important goals in your life? What's important to focus on?
Like for me, if I see somebody who has like an okay body, but they're a badass dude, that guy's like a 10 and I want to hang out with him. Like, not in a homosexual way, obviously, but in a friendship, like, that guy's really cool.
That's a new word.
Why does it fucking matter what your body image is?
That's what I'm saying. That's the masses. That's
we're
society.
Going back to what we said
media.
before. Like, it shouldn't matter. Period of statement.
Yeah.
Everything that should matter is how that person reflects who they are.
Yeah.
There's this, and I'm just going to bring it up, and we just talked about it a minute ago.
The content of your character.
The content
it is the content of your fucking character. Amen to that statement. Yeah. The content of your character.
Which is Martin Luther King.
And I think it takes you, like, it's so much, like, there's just...
No, I know, but that's a great quote to bring up. Yeah. I mean, absolutely. The content of your character is really...
You look a certain way if you're in a certain industry, I get it. You're a model, you're, like, modeling clothes, I think like that. But I think people need to start doing them. This is my opinion, telling stories. Like, brands need to start telling stories.
We need Dove commercials for men.
Yeah, man, like, think about it. Like you have a hot guy and then there's a narrator, and he's like, yeah.
Why does he have to be hot?
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what they're trying to portray. And then if you have a story and it's funny and it's more compelling and relatable to the audience instead of just a freaking model,
just in
that
shape,
goes so much further, man.
This is what I do.
It just goes so much further because it's relatable, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like you're in the fitness equipment industry. Do you get that? Like,
no, yeah, absolutely. I do want to say something because you brought up a good point. You're talking about type of people maybe we were. People who are driven. People who are successful. My experience has been those people can usually deal with an overweight issue on their own for the most part once they're motivated.
Yes, motivation.
Right.
They take, you mean from pain or just?
It comes from a lot of places. Perfect example would be a good friend who went through a divorce recently.
Pain.
That, found health for the first time in his life. I've known him his whole life.
Yeah.
Calls me years ago and goes, I'm ready to make a change.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I've been waiting 35 years for you to ask me that question.
Fuck.
Right?
That's a good point.
But and where my blog, kind of circling back to me and why maybe I'm even here to talk to you awesome guys today, is the fact that not everybody has that personality, and that's a little bit what Neat's about. That's a little bit what I like to talk about is that don't put that expectation when they see your Instagram page and see you kicking ass and beating the crap out of the heavy bag. Mm-hmm. Most guys probably never going to get to the point where they can even do that without an injury.
Good point, yeah.
But that doesn't mean they can't be successful from a health standpoint, and then, of course, translate that health to our kids, because that's what's going to fix the overall issue.
Be an example for your kids.
Yeah.
That's another thing I want to do.
Just funny fact. So I did Muay Thai for 9 years, and so I beat that bag so that if anybody messes with my family, they know what the fuck they have. Yeah,
that works, man. Yeah.
So that was a really good talk about exercise, fitness, getting the kids involved. There was one thing more I was wanting to talk about is tell us about your name, Kenji.
Yeah, man.
And also, how did you come up with the name SEAL Team Thick?
Okay. We'll do the SEAL Team Thick thing first. So I'm not a military veteran, but I do appreciate our veterans, of course. I come from a military family.
SEAL Team refers to Navy SEALs.
Navy SEALs, right? Navy SEALs have multiple teams. SEAL Team 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can't remember. It goes on to I think 11 or 10 or something like that. But SEAL Team Thick. I had this funny creative dream once that a comedic type look, and this is kind of addressing the dads out there that don't really want to jump into a real aggressive talk about fitness because they don't have a lot of knowledge, but SEAL Team Thick, a bunch of fat guys doing Navy SEAL workouts on the beach. It's kind of funny, right?
So basically, dads who are out of shape can relate to each other.
Yeah, he can relate to it.
And use the Navy SEALs as an example.
Break the ice, but also understand that, we can't all be that, right? So, as to my name, Kenji. So, Japanese name, we talked about, I'm Japanese. My son's name is Kenzo. My youngest son's name is Kento.
That's awesome, man.
So you're James Kenji, and your last name is
Yukawa.
So, but where does the Kenji and is James actually part of your?
Yeah. My legal name, of course, in this country is James Kenji Yukawa. In Japan, you don't have a middle name, so there's your first name and your last name. So technically, and I was a dual citizen when I was born. My Japanese name would be Kenji Yukawa, and on my citizenship in Japan, which I had up till 18, would have just said Kenji Yukawa, and then James Kenji Yukawa would have been my mom's part of the decision there. For sure.
What's your mom?
She's Caucasian.
Okay.
So, American, Texas, Dallas girl. Yeah,
Dallas.
Okay,
but your names mean stuff.
It doesn't assume. Well, there are meanings behind it. Of course, Japanese really doesn't translate well to English, but simply put. If you were to write Kenji, Kenzo, and Kento in character, there's the initial character, which would be like, you could almost say like a crest of sorts looking type kind of thing, a family crest of sorts. The second character, mine would be a single dash, second would be a double dash, third would be a triple dash. So it's almost the equivalent to a senior, junior,
and his name sounds
the third. And
so Ji, To, Zo is first, second, third.
Ji, Zo, To. Yeah.
Ji, Zo, To. So Ken is the character, and then you got it?
Yeah, for sure.
Suffix of it is Ji, Zo, To.
Oh, okay.
Kenji, Kenzo, Kento.
His name would sound good as a movie title.
So there are other ones like
it has been if you
have two boys?
watch more Japanese films, anime. Yeah.
You have two boys?
Two boys.
Okay. Yeah.
So could there be like a Ranji, Ranzo, Ranto?
R is not a. That's why Asians struggle with R. It's not a sound.
Yeah, they don't say my name.
Japanese do a little bit, but especially Chinese. That's why it's always a different.
I gotta say Kenji's name in a movie like Kenji and Theater Friday.
Hey, just
he's obsessed.
Go Google anime right now. You will see my name. It's like James is in this country. It's not uncommon over there. It is here, but
like just like
I see it all the time.
Yeah.
All right.
You're an anime guy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
guys,
I watch every season of
there's actually a designer,
arcs.
right, in Japan named Kenzo. It's a whole line of
I know Kenzo.
Yeah,
I know Kenzo very well.
very high-end, established
and
designer,
badass,
right?
cool-ass stuff.
All right,
we talked about a lot of stuff today. Fitness, being a father, just how to overcome obstacles when you're a dad, right?
Set some goals.
Set some goals. Get
some motivation.
Where, look, it doesn't really matter. As long as you have a purpose in life, you can go as far as you want. Special guest Kenzo.
Thank you guys.
Good to meet you,
so much for having me on the show, guys.
Episode 5.
It,
Ryan Crater, Ross Bennett, Rob Tyson. Peace.
See ya.